a surprising discovery. The old German import classic, which is no longer found on draft anymore. But it's interesting, I've taken this Christmas pit stop here in Lviv en route to Kyiv, and well, apparently not the Norman division now, because drunkenly bellicose as I am, I've reached out and had that door closed in my face. They've told me they're not going to. Sadly, as they put it, it's much more polite than a sexual knockback, than some kind of romantic KB. The lusty decline, or lustless decline rather, from their end. Sadly, we're not going to pass you along to our recruitment pipeline for obvious reasons, presumably due to my inability to do much beyond tell the fucking truth, because George Orwell ethos. So I now share that in common with the great man. But unlike one of humanity's two greatest minds, Socrates and George Orwell, the spaz-frazzled space cadet you see with his abandoned boneyard of a brain will not be adding the arrow of soldiery to his quiver, at least not in the Ukraine, it's looking like, because the International Legion, not since the start of the war, they let in people without prior military experience. So I thought the Norman Brigade was my sort of last chance saloon. I'm still not sure if it was Ben Velcro, the Notorious, with his foreignCombatants.ru Russian wanted page. The Western Derlevanger, as he is. The Oscar Derlevanger of the International Legion. He did threaten, before I came here, he said he didn't want to see me get killed in World War I style stationary trench warfare with modern firepower and artillery, mortar shelling, and that's just for conventional stuff. Being a half-blind and post-tortured poet and all the rest of it with obvious impairments, Ben did threaten to make sure I couldn't enter this country. He said that, which is ironic coming from him, he's literally got a Russian bounty on his head, and he said that he would contact the security forces and his friends in the Legion and the Ukrainian army and ensure that I wasn't granted entry. Another part of the reason after the humanitarian missions with Grain of Solace, Olga and Sasha were delayed, it's another reason for choosing Christmas specifically, because I knew it'd take hours getting over the border, much longer than normal, but it's my best chance of slipping by with a tour group on a bus. And I've gotten in, but no dice. And I've done volunteering, and it's old hat. I was feeling bellicose. Thought Ukraine was the hill that I was predestined to die upon. My Spain. Perhaps that's just solipsistically frivolous, who the fuck knows. I've been drunk throughout and just want to pick a fucking fight, because fuck Putin. Orwell ethos. And my favourite living journalist, at least in my lifetime, Anna Politkovskaya, was shot for writing as a dissident against the Putin regime. But I like this. Wow. This time 2 years ago at Christmas, I was supposed to DJ at Wow Viewpoint in Copenhagen, where I'd debuted as a DJ earlier that month, or very late in the last dying gasps of the previous one. I think I had a quick test run on the 30th of November. Remember the 30th of November. Bangers, cabbaged and mashed. I know of no reason why these bitch-made bastards' treason should let my hopes be dashed. And it's it's certainly interesting that 2 years later, 2 years of reclusiveness, and I've only just left Copenhagen. More than a year and a quarter, nearly a year and a half celibate, after being chased out of Wynand by the pigs. Surprise police raid, the 6th of the year. My year-long sanctuary was nixed, vanished. Tears and rain, melting snow. Lost moment in time. And after that wow thing, fuckery of samsara. This is all inexcusably solipsistic anyway. But after being tortured, what could be more solipsistic? I was already reeling from the relief work in Lombok. So many people trapped in rubble when I got there and dealing with bereaved families and then spending months trying to shelter them before the monsoons came, you know? It's already frazzled. Last thing I needed was a bludgeoning, a bushwhack, and the promise of a week-long evisceration and all the rest of it. And then Copenhagen, so much cheapness and shabbiness. So fleeting, so many of the... And it was just an intensified version of the entire 12 years spent on tropical islands. Just fickle, flighty, fly-by-night, shyster types who fornicate with the discernment of the average alley cat or soy dog. So it's interesting, yeah. That wow viewpoint dream, DJing was nixed. Now look. Wow. You're in Ukraine. But I shouldn't be frivolous or solipsistic, even drunk. Because before the torture, I was thinking about others. The Lombard thing wasn't about me. I wanted to be helpful and useful. And now it's all tinged by a wellspring of selfish motivation. Because I just want to heal and feel useful again and helpful. And Kyiv tomorrow. Kyiv's just been bombed again this week. And it's been dark here through Christmas Day, even the early evening, you know, in the centre. I'm right next to, you know, I'm in the centre, the slap bang in the centre of Lviv. But Kyiv's going to be worse. Ben said that there's no way the International Legion will take someone without prior military experience now. But he told me he could get me in a brigade, and I thought he meant the Norman Brigade that he was first in before he transferred out of it. Anyway, fuck it. Grain of solace, Olga and Sasha. Know people who are doing medivacs or casualty evacuations, or well, it's all for civilians for, and apparently they were operational in Afghanistan and Iraq prior to this. So the only thing is, I'm half blind, I'm even more impaired by torture, and I can't drive. So what would my use be? I need to be trained. Because it might be World War I style stationary warfare, trench warfare, but it's still a combined assault. It's still air and airstrikes and missiles, artillery and mortars, and there's the all-encompassing range of modern warfare techniques. However stuck in the mud the Russians may be, they're still, you know, they learned from the Wehrmacht from Operation Barbarossa. I don't know how certain the Norman Brigade were going to accept me. You would think that Ukraine, that it's been invaded by the world's largest country, you would think that any foreigner, any foreign able-bodied man coming in, they would be like, yeah, cool, all right, wee. Here's a gun. There's the Labruskis. Shoot the bastards. Go, you know. Strap bombs to me. Send me running towards them. Watch me work. But no, they do have a sort of indefatigable, non-conquerable spirit from the looks of it. from what I've experienced so far. Kyiv in the morning. Yeah, I'll probably end up on the sleeper train, to be honest. I have about $200 to my name. And it's all going on fucking booze. Assuming that weaponry is supplied. If I find a unit, brigade or legion that will take me. Anyway, keep your powder dry, keep your pecker hard. Stay cool. Drunkenly, but with love, in the hopes that despite the blood-soaked history of our primate animal species, that, I don't know, the victories of evil are not predetermined, and we can triumph over darkness and light candles within it. So yeah, powder dry, pecker hard. Stay cool. Only fools are certain. Wisdom begins in wonder. Merry Christmas from Ukraine. And wow!